In everybody, I'm Bobby Burton, joined by Gerry Hamilton, drinking his Chick-fil-A this afternoon. We just stopped by there. We came back to Chateau de OTF today for this live stream because guess what? Tyler Atkinson announcing his decision, the nation's top linebacker out of Grayson, Georgia, in a few moments, announcing on the Pat McAfee show. We think that's going to be around 12:15 Eastern, 11:15 Central. So that's why we went ahead and started the show now, so we could give you a little precursor to what's going on. Texas currently at 18 commitments. Gerry Hamilton, Longhorns trying to get to 19 today with Tyler Atkinson. Taking a look at this list, Cozy Okpala, the only other linebacker that Texas has signed, and last year they only signed 2. The year before that, they only signed 1. Is this a major need for the Longhorns? And if so, how would Tyler Atkinson fill that need?
Well, yeah, I think it's a 3 linebacker class for Texas, and we'll see if they get the 2 here in about 10 minutes. I think we felt pretty good about it since yesterday morning. But looking at this, Diabell's now up to number 2 overall in one ranking. Jermaine Bishop's way underrated in one ranking. So this stuff's going to fluctuate on throughout senior seasons, these player rankings. I just saw Richard Wesley. And I think Richard Wesley's a 5-star prospect after seeing him in person. But yeah, I think, look, linebacker, there's a need for 3. The plan is for 3 in this class. Cozy Okpala, obviously a really good player. And I believe a guy that's a little underrated nationally. And Tyler Atkinson, obviously we're about to play the huddle for the 78th time on Texas football since we first saw him last year, but he's a potentially great football player.
You talk about it. We've mentioned him, and people have watched him, and there's a reason why, Gerry. We were talking to Brooks Austin yesterday, the guy that breaks down film, also looks at some recruits, especially that the University of Georgia are looking at in the state of Georgia. And he said that he felt like Tyler Atkinson was almost one of the most surefire prospects he's covered in a long time. 475 tackles as going into his senior year already. 188 tackles as a freshman on varsity in high school. Just to give you a Gerry, you made the comparison almost of how prolific he has been to that of Cedric Benson's high school career, albeit at a different position entirely. He has just literally made that many tackles and been that productive as a high school player.
Yeah, look, that's kind of who he reminds me of it, because player comparisons don't always have to be a linebacker to a linebacker. It could be a situation to a situation. And Cedric Benson was a productive, winning football player from the first time he carried a football at Old Lee High, which is now Midland Legacy. That's the way Tyler Atkinson's been. I mean, since he came in, 475 tackles in 40 games in high school football. And the teams you're seeing them play against, that was Carrollton at first. I mean, this is the highest level of competition in the state of Georgia that Grayson's playing against. And he has not only played well, he's a defensive MVP in the state championship game last year. Every time there's a level he needs to rise up, kind of like Cedric Benson did, he rose up as a high school football player, just with an unbelievable production, 93 quarterback hurries, 46 tackles for loss, 31.5 sacks. It has versatility. He's a true Mike linebacker that you can also just move around as a chess piece on a board and let him rush. But his closing speed, you're starting to see the more you watch his video, you see the elite closing speed. The part of closing speed is how quickly do you diagnose, and then do your feet react, and then once your feet react, what's your closing speed like? This is what you're looking for. And you got long arms and you got the frame. Somebody DM me said, or asked on TexasFootball.com, great time to join. Is he a finished product? I said, absolutely not. After seeing him in person, no chance. He's going to add 10, 12, 15 pounds to his frame. He's going to get stronger. I think he'll get a little more explosive. He is not close to being a finished product physically as a football player. He's a hell of a football player. And we'll see. We felt good about it. We still have to announce here in a couple of minutes. It'll be Texas or Georgia. I think Oregon or Clemson, they may have a hat on the table, however he's going to do it. But this came down to Texas and Georgia.
You look at it, Gerry, and we watched this film over and over. Texas at 18 commitments currently. This might be 19 as we wait the Pat McAfee show. Some people saying now it's going to be just 10 minutes after the hour, so that would be 2 minutes from now. We'll hold on here and wait for that announcement. Although I think it might be closer to the 1:15 section there too as well. Look, my thought process on this, Gerry, and my thought of it is that Texas has had a little bit of a tough run in recruiting in the month of June and July, and now they're starting to flex their muscle a little bit on certain players. The nation's top linebacker is certainly one of them. Do you agree with the assessment? Hey, Texas was after a lot of really good players.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, Xavier Griffin's really good football player. Trenton Henderson, great football player. James Johnson, great. I mean, a lot of these. Malachi Lee, we've talked about him over and over. Is it clear to you that maybe Texas has dialed in on a couple of guys in this class, and Tyler Atkinson might be one of them?
Yeah, I think so. And there's guys that are committed elsewhere. They're still going to be dialed in on. I think that's the thing to remember. But, as we talked about, I mean, if you bring in at close to 50 players, 45 to 47, 48, close to 50 players for official visits, you're not generally going to get more than half of those guys. I mean, so if you get 50%, you've had a hell of a run. If you're recruiting the best players in America, some of these guys are going to go elsewhere. It may be somebody values them more in NIL than you do from a position of need standpoint, whatnot. Linebacker, however, is a big position of need in this class, and I think Texas is dialed in there. I think Derek Cooper will be very interesting on Sunday because Texas obviously needs a back in this class. And then you look around as what is still out there, a potential edge, another potential offensive tackle, potential safety, or all-around DB. I mean, there's some needs out there, but they're dialing in for sure. And the one thing about this is I'll say this, they're dialed in on the right player. I mean, let's just say this. I'm going to answer this question because I want to get this one out. People have asked this before. If Tyler commits to Texas, I think the DJ, I'm not taking anything away from Derek Johnson. I think it's going to be vastly overrated. It'll be written about and talked about. But look, we're not going to sit here on this show and say Florida made a huge NIL offer to Kendall Gerville, and that's why I went there, if we're not willing to do the same on the other side. I mean, the Derek Johnson stuff is nice. If Atkinson picks Texas, it's nice that he worked out there. That's not what this decision came down to if it goes Texas way. We're going to be transparent here. Does it help you a little? Anything that helps you a little are good things, but that wasn't an impact one way or the other. If he goes to Texas.
Yeah, so many of these guys, if you're even, you're at least in the game, right? The problem is then it comes down to really recruiting and making sure that the young man wants to go to your school, right? I mean, some people could go out with a big wad of cash and say, "Oh, come here," and you wouldn't be interested in. So there's a lot that goes into recruiting. But to your point, Gerry, I feel like it's more of this scenario of Texas playing the game and playing the long game as part of it. And you can't get them all this day and age of NIL, not when there's so many people out there that have revenue share that they can actually share with a number of their elite players. But that's the long and short of it. You talked about Derek Cooper. Let's talk a little bit about him next. A young man out of the Miami area, Broward County, actually, up at Chaminade Madonna High School in Hollywood, Florida. He is a running back, Gerry, that much like Tyler Atkinson played varsity as a high school freshman, has kind of been a phenom down in that area from the very beginning. Cooper, by the way, could be the second guy from Broward County that is a nationally highly ranked player, perhaps the best in the country at his position from Broward County. Diabell, obviously, the quarterback down in South Florida as well. Let's talk a little bit about Derek Cooper and his upcoming decision, who the finalists are as well, while we're waiting on this decision that's coming up on the Pat McAfee show with Tyler Atkinson.
Everybody's asking when he's committing. It should be in the next 5 minutes, I think. But announcing his decision. Yeah, Derek Cooper, I think, is Texas Miami at this point. I think Ohio State's running third. I think Georgia, where he's once committed, is not the player there at the end. Look, I went to see him in May. I saw Atkinson last year. I went to see Cooper in May when I was down in Florida. Saw Diabell, a bunch of other guys, Kendall Gerville, and a few others, Trenton Henderson. Look, I think the guy's terrific player. I kind of compare him as a high school player in the same way, just as their situation is Cedric Baxter. Cedric Baxter went into Edgewater and played some safety early on. They had a D1 running back at Edgewater High, so he played some at running back when he was younger before his frame started to fill out, and he played some safety. Derek Cooper played linebacker, safety, linebacker, and running back is what he's done for 3 years, plus on special teams. And he is just one of those guys, whether it's a Quandre Diggs, whoever you talk, he's just a football player. I mean, some people have ranked him as an athlete, but he's a running back. I mean, everybody sent their running back coaches to see him. He is a running back that just happens to be a baller that can play on defense too for a team. And Chaminade Madonna is a smaller school team. He has to play both ways for them a lot of times. But I think he's a really good outside zone runner. I saw it in person. I was sitting there in the end zone. I watched the plays develop. I watched how he set everything up. He is a really good outside zone runner now. And he can run it inside too, because he's 6'1", about 205 and 10'7", 10'7", in the 100 meters. He's going to be a 215, 220-pound back in time. But I do think it's going to come down to Texas and Miami. And look, we felt pretty good about it. Let's see here. It's time for, I think it's announcement time.
All right. He's got, I'm not in front of the TV, Jerry, so would you mind telling people what you're seeing right now?
I'm not in front of the TV.
Okay. Matt, our producer, is he says he's on. Is he on stage, Matt? He's on stage getting stuff done, trying to figure things out right now. Are there hats on the table, Matt, or what's going on? Hats on the table. Texas, Georgia, Oregon, and
Clemson.
Who's the other one?
Clemson.
Clemson right now. He's got his I think McAfee was wearing earlier is wearing the Tyler Atkinson gear as well. So it'd be interesting to see what happens here.
But again, this is a recruitment that, look, Kenny Baker's been a big part of with his ties to Grayson. Full Texas staff. Tashard Choice was actually impactful early in this recruitment as well for Texas, getting Texas in the door. Then Kenny Baker was hired, so they had both those guys working at Grayson. He started talking now, Splendid Daddy. Thank you for that. This is one where Texas had multiple coaches involved in this recruitment. Johnny Nansen then got involved later in the process. It's one where Tashard Choice and Kenny Baker really got the ball started for Texas there, because obviously Kenny Baker's very I've been told when I was at Grayson's very good friends with the defensive coordinator over there because Kenny Baker's dad was a high school coach in the area for many years. So we'll see. I mean, look, this is one that's similar to Justice Terry. Georgia wants him badly. Texas wants him badly. And now we're getting down to when he's going to announce somebody, hey, Invincible, that's funny. Maybe he's going to West Virginia. Good one.
The family is there with him. Just saw that piece right now out of the corner of my eye here, as well as they are now just talking back and forth, a little recruiting, chopping it up. We'll see how things go down here. But look, this is a big one for Steve Sarkisian in the 2025 recruiting class. They got on the board early with Diabell. They've had some ups and downs in this recruiting cycle. This could be a big lift, I guess, is the best way. It could go for Texas, nation's top linebacker in the.
By the way, I'm watching it on YouTube now while I'm talking to you guys. For anybody that's asking the question, I'm not sure if somebody said this or not in our business, said he's a finished product. Look at him sitting on this chair right now. You think that's a finished product physically? He's not even close to being a finished product physically. So Tyler Atkinson can put 15 pounds on his frame. There's the helmet coming off for the 80,000th time on. But this guy, he can put on 12, 15 pounds of really good weight on his frame. He's got long arms. And seeing him in person, he can easily carry 230, 235, and he's probably about 213, 215 right now.
Yeah. All right. Good stuff here, Gerry. Longhorns have a chance to really make their mark with Tyler Atkinson. Interesting. Somebody, Sandman. I love this. I love the sarcasm sometimes from folks. Which recruits did we lose today? That's what some people were saying just a week ago. Hey, I want to say thank you real quick to one of our key sponsors for recruiting, and that is Mark Saunders at Allstate Insurance. Are you in good hands with Texas alum Mark Sanders? You will be. Give him a call, 512-218-8571. Or if you want to talk to him privately or email first, give him an email shout. Mark Saunders at allstate.com. That's Mark Saunders at allstate.com. Are you in good hands? 35 plus years experience with Mark Saunders. All right. Here it is coming up. Gerry, is this a commitment or a recruit similar, a size similar to maybe a Colin Simmons? Is it more like an Anthony Hill?
I would say this. I think for Texas, he is that level guy at a different position, because you do not go into Grayson and battle like this. This kid's been Georgia lean. Everybody in the country wants him. He is seen at his position on the same level almost as Colin Simmons, and for sure Anthony Hill. So, I mean, that's where he's at as a prospect for the Texas Longhorns. Because look, it wasn't looking good in May here. It wasn't looking good because Deshard Choice left, so then Kenny Baker had to somewhat take over, and then they had to get Nansen more involved and more defensive staff members involved. It was looking for a while like he wasn't even going to make the visit. And then things kind of started to turn a little bit. But Texas has battled for this kid like he's on the same level, and we're getting really close to the announcement here. Again, some background on the family. The family's originally from North Carolina on the dad's side. I think they moved in when he was in 6th grade from North Carolina. I'm not sure if it was from the Research Triangle area or not, but that's where they're originally from. And we're getting I think he's thanking everybody right now, and then it's going to be decision time.
Let's just see.
Good number of people in the chat. I like it. Thanks for tuning in always, guys, as we grow to 85,500 plus on the way up.
Let's see what happens.
He's still recruit. He's still chatting right now.
Yep. It'll be just moments away here as we're waiting for Tyler Atkinson, linebacker out of Grayson, Georgia.
I think everybody's guessed every school in America now, having fun in the chat. I like it.
Somebody's pulling for SFA, Gerry. You think
absolutely
Nacogdoches would take Tyler Atkinson?
They might. They might. And if they ever got him there, they could never let him leave.
That's so true. So true.
His dad looks like he can still play a little bit, by the way. For those that haven't seen Tyler's dad, the CJ saw him in the airport, and he looks like he can still play.
A few more seconds here. I think it's getting ready to wind down. They're going to have to go to commercial break pretty quick. So yeah, it's going to have to wind down pretty soon.
You're going to have to do Grand Canyon U, Marco Maldez. They don't have football. Maybe he's going to play some hoops.
Hey, Gerry, when you start mentioning guys like Derek Johnson.
McAfee's messing with him.
When you start talking about guys like Derek Johnson and Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill, is this a guy that you could be mentioning in that same breath, in your opinion, in a year or two? Is he a guy that can have as big an impact maybe as Colin Simmons or Anthony Hill did in year one?
Yeah, I think he definitely has that ability. High school midterm graduate. He's way advanced in terms of knowledge of the game. Physically, he's going to be ready, and he just committed to Texas, guys.
There we go. I'm sure there is going to be a party in Atlanta today. And the reason why is that Tyler Atkinson has committed to the University of Texas, the linebacker out of Grayson, Georgia. For the second consecutive year, the University of Texas gets the #1 player from the state of Georgia. Last year, of course, Justice Terry committed and chose the Longhorns. Now Tyler Atkinson goes to the Longhorns as well, the 5-star linebacker out of Grayson. Big-time pickup for the Longhorns. I will say this. Gerry and I, we happen to have cut video specifically for Tyler Atkinson's commitment. You guys can watch that specifically separately. Rod Babers gave his feedback on the Tyler Atkinson commitment as well. So please make sure you guys check that out on this channel. Gerry, we're going to play, folks, real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
The Brooks Austin clip of what he thought the University of Texas was getting in Tyler Atkinson, the young man that just committed to the University of Texas. Matt, our producer, you ready for that?
Tyler Atkinson and Mark Bowman, in my opinion, are the two most surefire. That guy, 100%, no doubt in my mind, will play on Sundays football players in this class. I think there is not a simulation in my mind where Tyler Atkinson is not a great college football player and a top 90 NFL draft pick. He is so clean. He's so polished. He does everything right. The greatest thing about Tyler, in my opinion, was everybody knew about him as a 7th and 8th grader here. He got an offer as a 14-year-old in high school as an edge rusher out here in the metro Atlanta area in Gwinnett County. Goes to Grayson, and everyone around him realizes early on, hey, you're not going to be 6'5". You're not going to be 265 pounds. The idea that you're going to be an edge rusher in the NFL level, probably not. Like, you might be Hassan Reddick, but let's not bet on that. Let's move you to inside linebacker. Okay, so think about this. 14 years old, the first time we move back to inside linebacker, and we're starting at Grayson High School, which would be no different than starting at Duncanville out there in Texas. Okay,
as a freshman.
Yeah. Okay, and playing a brand new position. What does he do, Bobby? 188 tackles year one. 188 tackles year one. Okay, so the nose for the football on this guy, elite. The other thing about Tyler that I love about him, okay, and this is rare, I want my defensive football players to be violent humans. Like, this by nature, that's what they do. I want you to be a little bit on edge all the time because you're running your face into other people for a living. Okay, it's a violent thing. Tyler is such a great person. And then immediately when he goes onto that field, he finds that switch that coach just talked about. And I learned this, Bobby, by miking him up one day during practice. And you get him coming off the field talking to media guys, and he's smiling. He's, picture perfect, taking the media day with you. You get him in between them whistles, he talks a little bit different to the opposition. And that's the type of football player that I want to sign up for all the time. That's Tyler Atkinson.
I totally agree. Brooks and I, we agree on most 95% of players, and we agree on Tyler Atkinson. I agree with him on Mark Bowman. There's some guys in our business that are pretty easy to rank 5-star prospects, honestly. And Tyler Atkinson, the day I was there, was easy. That was one. There was no hesitation for me. I said, that guy's a 5-star prospect. All the things that Brooks talked about, me talking what I saw in person with my eyes, talked to with the Grayson staff, that he was just an easy one for me. I mean, like, there are some of those, Bobby, that you see. You've already seen the huddle or their highlights, and then you just go check boxes, no different from a college coach. And then you kind of see them interact. You see them the way they communicate, whether it's on the field, off the field with their teammates, and you put it all together with all that ability. He was a no-brainer for me.
We mentioned this. Part of the no-brainer is just how productive he is, Gerry. His stats are phenomenal. There's just no two ways about it. 475 tackles in 3 years, 93 quarterback hurries, 75 tackles for loss, 31 stats. All right, 31 sacks. I want you to think about this now, Gerry. He's only played 40 games in those 3 years. He has 93 quarterback hurries. He averages 2 1/3 quarterback hurries per game. He averages 2 tackles for loss per game.
You want to hear? You want me to add to it? They lost to Milton his sophomore year, who won state. Ryan Nelson will tell you how good Milton was. He had 18 tackles in that 3rd round playoff game. The week before, 19 tackles and 4 tackles for loss against Buford. I mean, 20. He had 20, 14, 19, and 18 the last 4 games of the year. He had 19 tackles against Archer, 16 against Lowndes. I mean, you look at what this guy does on a game-by-game basis, and it's nuts. That was his sophomore year. Now, let's see what he did some of his junior year, okay? Because in the state semifinal game, he had 26 tackles, Bobby, 2 tackles for loss, and 5 quarterback hurries. 26 tackles in a state semifinal game. He had 13 against Carrollton in the state championship game, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hurries, and was the MVP of that game. If there is somebody with a football, this dude is making contact with them. Bottom line.
I love the way you say that, Gerry, because look, we could talk about these guys until we're blue in the face. And I wrote this morning on TexasFootball.com, and I want to get your take on it too, Gerry, if you don't mind. Look, you and I have been doing this both 20 plus. I've been doing it 30 years. Okay. There are guys that I remember going and seeing that were highly productive high school players, highly productive, but I would never have called them elite prospects. I mean, I think back to some guys. I mean, you remember Jake Smith, the wide receiver out of Arizona. Everybody wanted him to be the number one player in the top this. He was Gatorade player there, and I'm like, he's a better player than he is a prospect.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so there's guys that are great players and guys that are great prospects. It is rare, and this is why we're talking about Tyler Atkinson this way. It is rare when they're both.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Tyler Atkinson is who he – I mean, Jonah Williams fits this mold from a year ago, right? Great player, great prospect. That is when the two things mesh, and you may be talking about a special edition to the University of Texas class. Longhorns now at 18 commitments. Gerry, you agree with that categorization?
Yes.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And people in the chat saying they missed Bobby's boom. Well, we had recorded this commitment video a few days ago, and the boom is on there. So after the live stream ends, you guys can go look at the video we cut a few days ago on Tyler Atkinson.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a long time coming for the University of Texas. I want to congratulate every member of the staff for doing it, because it was not a one-man show. I mean, it was everybody from the assistant coaches, the personnel staff, Brandon Harris. I'm sure Chris Gilbert played a role as well. All of them, John Michael Jones, they all probably played a large role. And then, of course, nobody played a larger role, in my opinion, probably than Steve Sarkisian, given that I am told that he made him one of the priorities of this entire recruiting class. And so, look, Longhorns, for the second straight year, Gerry, grabbed the number one player in the state of Georgia, which I just think, you and I've been doing this a long time. I never thought I would say that. In my lifetime, I never thought I would say that.
Yeah, I guess it's payback for Justin Williams and Joseph Jonah and John Yates 2 classes ago. It goes back and forth. There's going to be battles. But this was a massive win for the Texas Longhorns. Jesse Ullman, I saw that Derek Cooper dropped in the rankings, and I think they're nuts. That is nuts, dude. I'm just here to tell you, man.
Dude, they
just get a subscription on TexasFootball.com. We'll head you in the right direction on this stuff.
I thought it was hilarious, Gerry. I mean, absolutely hilarious. By the way, Steve Sarkisian right now is talking to a small gathering of University of Texas reporters. Our CJ Vogel is there for us. I'm here with you guys and Gerry talking about Tyler Atkinson. I cannot wait to see what exactly Steve Sarkisian had to say. He literally went to talk to that small group of reporters moments after Tyler Atkinson committed. My guess is he was holding off, wanting to make sure that Atkinson chose Texas before he went in to see those reporters together.
A couple of things, Bobby. James Richards, a resident Georgia fan. We love him coming in our chat. Moves like Nakobe Dean. James, I like that. Nakobe Dean was instinctively a baller. Nakobe Dean was always headed in the right direction. There were very few false steps in his game. Tyler Atkinson is very similar. Nakobe Dean was a great linebacker at Georgia. I mean, when Will Muschamp was the DC there, I ran into Will and asked him, and he said Nakobe Dean was probably the best pure football player on their team, and that was an extremely talented team. Yes. Somebody asked what the Texas class ranking is now. I believe it'll probably be 6, 7, 8, depending on who's ranking them and how. There's different algorithms or formulas for it, but they're going to be 6, 7, or 8 after the Tyler Atkinson commitment.
Yeah, big time commitment here, and I don't think Texas is done this week, Gerry. So as I've mentioned for almost a week now, I think Texas is going to be. They're at 19 now with the addition of Tyler Atkinson. I think they'll move to at least 20, 21 before the end of the month. We'll see how that all goes. The Longhorns doing really well on the recruiting campaign, even in the face of some adversity earlier this month on the recruiting trail. This one is a big one for Steve Sarkisian and Brandon Harris and the University of Texas staff. All right. I tell you what, that's probably going to do it for us. We do have an additional video that's out there. Myself and Gerry broke down Tyler Atkinson on film. Rod Babers also broke him down. Y'all make sure you take a watch of that. We'll have more live from the SEC Media Days. We're going to head back over that way right now. Steve Sarkisian is speaking at the microphone in 2 hours. Arch Manning is going to be in a major media scrum. There's no doubt about it. Anthony Hill, Michael Taff as well. For more, we'll have from SEC Media Days. Thanks again to our sponsor, Mark Saunders, as well. Gerry, any final comments before we let people go here?
Keep the faith. 5th straight top 5 class coming.
There you go. Look 'em Horns. Congrats to Tyler Atkinson.